Hi guys, and welcome to another video. As you can see by the title, we're talking about how to increase our income. So yeah, let's get started. There's different certifications that you can get to increase your income. The first one I'm going to talk about is CNA. The course for the CNA takes about, I would say, 5 to 6 weeks. It's not that long. For me, it took me a little bit longer because like the person that gave us the course, he just wanted to make sure we were ready. So he gave us like 2 tests, and then after we passed the 2 tests, we would go to take the state exam. And then before that, we had practice because the CNA exam has 2 parts. It has a practical part, and then it has a computerized test. So in order to make sure that we pass, he makes sure that we have to pass those exit exams before we go even attempt to even take the test. So like he makes sure you're ready. So that's why it took me a while to finish. It took me longer than 5 weeks to get the CNA, because like I said, yeah, it took me a while because I was practicing a lot. There's a list of skills that they want you to act out. So it took me a while. So because I was practicing, because at the school we have like a site where we can go in and practice the skills to make sure that we passed it. On that test, I was so nervous. I honestly thought I wasn't gonna make it, but your girl passed. So on the first try too. So yay me. After I got my CNA, it was easy for me to find a job. I mean, it wasn't easy for me to find a job close to my house, but like about an hour out, I was able to find a job. And like the hospitals that were near me didn't want to pick me up because I didn't have any experience. So they was like, girl, go somewhere and maybe come back. So I was picked up by this hospital that was an hour out from my house. I decided to pick it up because I needed the experience and they were willing to like train me. I went to 3 months of training with the hospital and it was the best experience ever. Depending on how you look at it. For me, it was a lot. It's a different type of workload than I'm used to. Day-to-day basis, you know, it's different from any other job I've ever had. So when I first started, I got a low offer, but I decided to still take it because I just needed the experience. So after I was at the hospital for 5 months at the hospital, and then I decided to leave because one time I was working and everybody was quitting because they were getting paid too low and the workload was just too much. So one time I was on shift and the other CNA quit, so I had to take on 15 patients by myself, and as a newbie too, so that was too much work for me. And I was like, yeah, I want to like explore another option because the pay wasn't worth it. I was driving an hour out, and by the time I get there I was tired. I was tired from the drive. So yeah, it just wasn't worth it for me. But after I quit that job, all the hospitals around me all of a sudden wanted to start calling me now. Get me? Because now I got experience. So now I could work at those big hospitals. So yeah, they started calling me and I got an offer. This hospital was about like maybe 15 minutes from my house. They offered me more money. The first hospital, they offered me $15 an hour and I was working 3 days, 7 p to 7 a. So your girl was tired. And it just wasn't worth it because the wear and tear of my car going back and forth an hour, you know, 2 hours drive is just too much, and it just wasn't worth it. The check that I got from that job, that was only just to pay my car note. But the second time around, when I finally left that hospital and I was, like I said, I got picked up by this other hospital close to my house, they offered me more money. They were offering me about $19 and plus overtime and other incentives. I had school, they'll pay for you to go to school, and we get raises every so often. So that was a good one. I was happy to work there. And CNA overall is you have to have a passion for it. I loved my patients when I was at the hospital. They're so sweet. And the reason why I even went into CNA is because I wanted to work in the medical field and I wanted to try something that I can just go into it and see how the hospital is like. Because I've been to the hospital, I'm pretty sure you have been, but you never know how you never know how it all comes together and how the team works together. So I decided to go into the CNA to see how everything works. And I learned a lot in my time in the hospital, and like I said, I really did love my patients. Registered behavioral technician, and they work with autistic kids, and so you work at schools and sometimes centers as well. And they paid 25 if you take your state exam, because I did the class is 40 hours. So you can do that in a week or two, and then you have to go and take a competency test. And then after, you have to take a state exam. So both, or they will not hire you. So yeah, they start at 25 to like $30 an hour. So that's something that you can do that, you know, it's your income. If you're looking for like a way, like a certification that's quick, this is about 2 weeks long, or depending on your pace and how fast you're able to pick up the information. The workload for RBT, it varies, because you can work with, you can go to homes, like you can go to children homes, and so you have one patient that you work with one-on-one, or you could be at a center working with several kids, so your client ratio can vary. HVAC is the personnels that work in air conditioning, 6 to 12 months, and they start at $22 an hour. I have a friend that does HVAC. He started out working for a company, and once he got his experience, he opened his own business, and he was working by himself for a minute, and now my dog got 4 employees. So hopefully in the next video he will come and sit and talk to us about HVAC, his experience, his business, and the journey for him. So I would love to have him come on, and so we can hear his point of view. The last course that I would tell you to take is truck driving, aka the CDL. It is 3 to 6 weeks. The pay starts 18 to 31. So the pay varies depending on state to state or local, if you drive like out of state. But yeah, so if you're looking into something quick, CNA is 5 to 6 weeks, and it's at your own pace. Some people offer it online, some people offer it for free, so do your research at your own state to see what your state offers. RBT is about 1 week to 2 weeks as well. HVAC is 6 to 12 months, and truck driving is 6 weeks. So depending on what works for your lifestyle, you have these options that you can go available for you, so that you can increase your income and make more money than a normal, you know, like the regular jobs are paying, or I guess minimum wage. So try that out, see how that works. Let me know if you guys have any more questions about the information that I just gave you. I'm available to answer any of your questions, and that's it. I'll see you in the next one.